First of all, Coach, I mean, we heard about Rawleigh today. Just when did Rawleigh tell you that he was quit football?
Well, when the injury happened, when the Saturday scrimmage, I went to the hospital later that night. Began to gather some information, and we just kind of were in a waiting pattern until we talked to the doctors. We talked to the doctors on that Sunday. Waited a couple days. We had another round of doctors look at his information, and we just kind of began to slowly piece it together. And I would say by probably Monday or Tuesday afternoon, we kind of knew where we were at and where we were headed. Just wanted to verify everything, come up with a plan, come up with when we were able to release it and make everybody feel good. Rawleigh was already going home for the weekend on Thursday because we had a dead period there before he had to take his finals, and came in my office earlier today. He had prepared a statement, obviously, and rolled it out.
Bret, you tweeted out, I've learned something from Rawleigh, and I think everybody can. What did you mean specifically?
Well, I think in my profession, everybody always talks about what you've done for a young man, They'll tell you what you haven't done for a young man. But, from a positive light, the thing I've always said is, and I try to tell my players all the time, even here standing as an age 47, there's things I learn every day from my players, whether it be in the recruiting process, whether it be in off-the-field experience, whether it be on-the-field experience. And Rawleigh has taught me perseverance. He was committed to another school when he first came there, and a lot of times kids just stay with the plan, and they're afraid to venture out, and he knew he needed to make a decision better for him and his family, so he went through that process. And then go through what he did his freshman year. He taught me a lot about resiliency and the optimism and the outlook. I distinctly remember his injury on Saturday against Auburn, the procedure on Saturday night, the conversation we had on Sunday and Monday morning. He walked into my office, and I was kind of like, what's going on here? And the smile he had, and he was happy he hadn't missed any class, and I kind of took from that moment the outlook and the perspective, and then obviously the final decision to get to where he is, where you take away something that's been in his life for since the age of 4, and to handle it with the maturity, to handle it with the conviction, to handle it with the faith that he has. I think we can all learn a lot.
Have you discussed at all what his role with the team might be going forward?
Yeah, I actually threw it out to him. Saturday, that scrimmage day, we get done. I had some recruits, I had a lot of things. By the time I get to the hospital, I walk up to the 3rd floor, and there's all kinds of alarms going off. There's a tornado warning, and they're moving him out of the hospital room to the hallway, he and I and his parents and a couple buddies, and we kind of started telling stories about tornadoes, and it was just one of those moments, and we carried on the conversation, and it talked about, well, if things weren't football, what would you do? And I told him at that time, I said, hey, if it does get to that point, you got a job with me any day of the week. The NCAA allows you to, what we'll do is proceed with what we unfortunately can do in a bad situation. It's we can put him on a full, what is called a medical scholarship, where he is entitled to everything just as much as he was if he was the SEC leading rusher. He's able to take care of his academics. He's actually on a progression that he'll graduate and actually start. His goal is to graduate with a finance and accounting degree, and then also start a graduate program during his time here at Arkansas. So he's going to work specifically in our football program with me, a little bit in the recruiting department, also with the running backs, and kind of a work in progress.
What was his mother's role in the decision? And